We have been comparing real estate data in the Austin area from last year with this year, and we see a big story emerging. Hi, I'm Lindsey Keller with Seven Springs Real Estate. I work primarily in the city of Austin and the suburbs to the south of Austin. So we're going to look at data from Travis County and Hays County and compare year over year what was happening last spring with this spring to tell you what we think is going on. Everybody's first question when it comes to real estate data is, what are values doing? And the quick short answer to that is that they're pretty flat from last year to this year. So in Travis County, we really didn't see much change at all in the median sales price. In Hays County, we actually saw a slight decline between last year and this year in the median sales price. Just the fact that the prices are pretty flat is noteworthy right now, because in Austin, historically speaking, we have averaged about 3 to 5% appreciation year over year. And then during COVID, we saw, like 20% month over month appreciation. So we had this huge escalation in prices, and now they're pretty flat, a little bit in Hays County dropping, but there's more to it than that. The other thing everybody wants to know is, what's the average days on market right now? So how long is it taking to sell a house when it goes on the market? Right now in Travis County, we're sitting at 78 days on market. In Hays County, we're sitting at 87 days on market. And what that means is, from the time that you make the listing active until you get an offer that the sellers accept and go under contract. After that, it's still usually another month until the house actually closes and the seller gets their money. So whole process, we're looking at like 3 or 4 months from the time you go on the market till the time you actually close on the sale. Another important metric is the number of new listings on the market this spring versus last spring. So how many people are deciding to sell their house? We're up in both counties, both Travis and Hays County. Travis County, we're up by about 3.5%. In Hays County, we're up by 23%, and I think that is largely due to new construction. There's a whole lot more new construction in Hays County than there is in Travis County, just because there's more land left to build on, and the cost of that land is less. So we've got a lot more new construction there. We also just overall have a lot more people that are deciding to sell this spring than they did last spring. And I think, just from being out in the marketplace and talking with people, I see a pattern emerging where last spring people were saying interest rates just went up. They're really high. Buyers are paralyzed. It's not a good time to sell. We're just going to hold off and wait for interest rates to get better so that buyer activity will improve and we'll sell faster and for a better price. So a lot of people last spring were just putting the brakes on the whole process because they knew, and they kept hearing, it might not be the best time to sell. Nothing's really changed as far as interest rates. If anything, they've gotten worse since last spring. But still, more people are selling now than they did last spring. And I believe, just from talking with people, it's just because people have said, you know what, I don't see it changing anytime in the near future. Interest rates are high. Looks like they're going to stay high for a while. We really need to move. We're going to quit putting it off, and we're just going to go ahead and do it. And so instead of just shutting their eyes to the whole thing, they're actually having conversations with mortgage lenders to understand what it would mean to buy another house at this interest rate, talking with me about what it would mean to sell in the market that we're in right now, and just making the changes that they need to.
I was fighting that for a long time.
Making the changes that they need to move on to the next stage of their life for whatever reason. If they need more square footage for another child in the family, or a college student moving back in, or an older generation moving in, or whatever it is. They're just deciding to quit putting off that move and going ahead and going with it. All right, so that brings us to months of inventory. With more people selling their house this spring, more new construction coming on the market this spring, we've got more inventory, more houses to choose from if you're a buyer looking to buy. So in real estate, we talk about months of inventory all the time. And what that means is, if all the houses that are on the market now were to sell, how long would that take? We measure that in months. Right now, we're sitting at right around 4 months of inventory, which is the highest we've seen in the Austin area in a while. And I think that that's just due to the things that we just mentioned: more people selling, more new construction, buyers still being a little bit hesitant and not in a big hurry because it is very expensive to buy in this area right now. So 4 months of inventory, technically speaking, is still a seller's market. I guess 4 to 6 is really balanced. I think 1 up to around 4, we would say, is seller's market. 4 to 6 is balanced, and then 6 months and more is a buyer's market. So we're sitting in a place where it looks like it should be balanced, but for us, it's really feeling more like a buyer's market because we're so used to it being really little inventory and sellers really having more negotiating power. And now all of a sudden, sellers are like, my house has been on the market for 2.5 months. Yes, I'm willing to negotiate. Buyers are asking for a lot more things and getting what they want. So it's behaving more like buyers are in control, even though the inventory would tell us that it might be more balanced. So all of that is leading us to actually more closed sales this spring than we had last spring. Buyers are still hesitant, but with all the choices out there and people just deciding that they're tired of waiting, we're actually closing more than we did last spring. And interestingly, the number of dollars being exchanged in the real estate market, which we refer to as volume, is much higher, well, 5 to 6% higher than last spring as well. So that means prices really aren't crashing. They're definitely declining a little bit in some pockets, but they're still high enough overall that our total volume is up 5 to 6% year over year. Okay, that was a mouthful of data and a whole lot of different things I got in the weeds on that you may or may not care about. But if you do care and you want more information, I'd love to talk with you. Please reach out anytime. Contact information is in our profile. Like and subscribe to our YouTube channel, please. Thank you for watching. Have a great day.